Today we are talking about stress, something everyone has, something no one can really avoid, unfortunately. I like to look up the definitions of words. I think we get some preconceived notions in our mind about what words mean to us or our experiences, our childhood, our families, like just the way we've grown up learning about these words. We can get a different perspective if we look at the definitions, we look at where it came from, the origin of the word, all of these things. And so when I looked up stress, we know what stress is. Like we have this idea in our head. But I think that we forget that stress can be a noun or a verb. So I have stress. That's something I have, right? So have and then our noun. Or I am stressed. We are physically in the action of stress. So in either case, stress is tension or pressure exerted on something. In human beings, this tension or pressure exerts itself into many areas of our lives. Our emotions, our mental wellness, our physical bodies. And once it shows up, it can make itself known anywhere. So why am I talking about this? Well, mindfulness is a way to manage stress because let's be real, again, it's not going away. We can try to reduce it, but there are always going to be stressors in our lives. Unexpected things happen, work, kids, family, car breaks down, power goes out, like you name it. And we always have these unexpected stressors, no matter how much we try to plan, no matter how good we are at dealing kind of with stress, it's going to happen. So the key is what we do and how we respond to those things that makes all the difference in our overall well-being. So I've mentioned before that when we feel stressed and overwhelmed, we carry that with us all day long. It bleeds into everything that we do. If we have a rough morning, things aren't going according to plan, we wake up late, we didn't get enough sleep, we have too many things to do, kids are late for school, like whatever it is, that bleeds into everything we do all day long if we don't figure out how to manage it. So if we're waiting in line at the store and there's a problem at the register, we're irritated. If we're stuck at a red light and we're in a hurry, we're impatient. Kids don't seem to be listening, we become short-tempered. These responses, or reactions rather, all happen because of that pressure or tension that's being exerted on something, which that something is us. So I want to take a look at chronic stress. This is the stress that we don't deal with. This is what happens if we don't manage and have tools in our lives to get through these times where things feel stressful. It builds up, so days or weeks or months. In my case, it had actually been years that I had let stress build up within me and I wasn't doing anything about it. I wasn't managing it in any way. And it can create much bigger problems than if we try to have tools and techniques to manage the stress when it happens. We get resentful, we get mad at the world, we get jealous of others and what we perceive is like their perfect life or they have it all and I don't. We take it out on people we love. We don't take care of ourselves. That was a big one for me. I was not taking care of myself at all because I really didn't care. Like I was just so upset. I had so much happening that I wasn't dealing with that. Why would I want to take care of myself? And so this stress harbors itself within us. It impacts our mood, our behavior. It can cause physical stress on the body, which can contribute to so many things. High blood pressure, headaches, fatigue, pain, chronic pain. So unattended stress, if we do not pay attention to it, if we do not address it, it can cause a lot of problems in so many areas of our lives. And I think it's important that we recognize that, we realize that, because a lot of times we're living miserably, we're stressed, we're overwhelmed, and it feels like everything is just getting worse and worse and worse. And that's because it feels like it is, because we're not doing anything to stop that pattern and move in the right direction. So these are the reasons why I am so passionate about helping people with mindfulness, with meditation at the base. Dealing with stress is so important. And these things that I've talked about here are why having these tools and these techniques available that you can use at the drop of a hat is so, so imperative to your wellness and that of those around you. We all know when someone in our house is in a bad mood, aka stressed, somebody's in a bad mood, it's usually the cause or the result of some kind of stress in their life. That impacts everybody. If I'm upset or I'm cranky or my son is or my husband is, that impacts all of us because we are social creatures and our relationships depend on communication. And when somebody's upset, it's hard to communicate. And we know that snowballs, right? So I want to share a couple of things that you can do to help you when you do start to feel stressed. If you've been around here a while, you will not be surprised by my answer here. But I have to share because these are the things that I teach my clients. These are the things that we work on together. Journaling, releasing all of the thoughts onto paper, all of those feelings onto paper. It's amazing how that act of writing things down can feel so freeing. We keep so much stuff up here. We keep so much stuff weighing on us day in and day out that just writing it down is a form of releasing that. The brain can kind of let go a little bit then because it doesn't have to remember that thing. And if you don't want somebody else to read it, if you don't want to share it with anybody, like, you can put it in the shredder. You can take it out to, your fire and burn it, like whatever you need to do. Just writing it out is helpful. Affirming. So using positive affirmations to support your mindset, to support positive self-talk, self-love. We have so much negativity around us. It's important to reinforce those positive things so that when the negative things happen, we are less likely to get drugged down by them because we have a positive mindset and we're automatically sort of training ourselves to look for the good, to look for the positive, and to try to move through some of those hard situations. And lastly, meditation. This is where my mindfulness journey began. Training the brain to be present and aware, to be in this moment instead of worrying about the past or thinking about the future. That helps us see where stressful situations arise and allows us to do something about it. So many times we don't know where the stress even comes from. It's just there. But when we slow down, we start to pay attention, we start to see and feel the things that cause stress in our lives. Then we can make a change. Then we can adjust and decide if that thing should be part of our life, if we can do something about the triggers or the stress that comes along with it. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. This is kind of a longer talk today, but it's really, really important. I had to share why we should address stress, why we should not continue to ignore it. Reach out if you realize that this is something you need to work on. We all do to some degree. And for some, it's more than others. So if you are at a point where you feel like this is something you want to dig into and work on, I know that I sure wish I had someone to help guide me and support me as I was beginning my way in finding joy and fulfillment in my life again. Because when we are living stressed out to the max, it is hard. It is hard to feel joyful. It is hard to feel like our life is fulfilling us and rewarding, and we don't have to live like that. We just don't. So I'm here to help. So please reach out if this is something you would like to talk about further, and I hope that this was helpful today.